I am Thomas McDonough, and welcome to McDonough's Hammer of Truth.
Oh, I'm going to do it this way. There we go.
Boy,
This is off camera.
Okay, now, my movie that I'm reviewing is Winchester. Now, one thing when it comes to going after movies, it's not about going after the movies or even after the studios or the directors, but also to those who reviewed it, sometimes people who gave it bad reviews too. Now, Winchester is a 2018 supernatural horror movie starring Helen Mirren and Jason Clarke, directed by the Spirit brothers, Michael and Peter. And it is, well, actually, it's one of my favorites. When I say favorite, I mean I am a fan of period pieces. This is considering the Winchester Mystery House of San Jose, California. For those of you who don't know, yes, that's right, I'm going to go on my subject now, not your subject.
Oh, I took the tour. I took the virtual tour during COVID.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Was it fun?
It was cool.
All right, the Winchester house was built by Sarah Winchester, the widow of the heir to the Winchester fortune. And, of course, the Winchester fortune being built on the Winchester rifle as well as other guns, too. And the Winchester rifle was known as the gun that won the West. Kind of the first repeating rifle where you didn't have to load and shoot a bullet all the time, but just cock it and boom, you keep firing. And, yes, it's also responsible for the deaths of many people and brought about the concept of repeating weapons. And in this case, well, in the past, when Sarah Winchester's husband died and their infant child died, she spoke to a psychic who said that the spirits, the people who died by Winchester, were not very happy with her and directed her to build a home in California in order to house these spirits. Now, in the movie itself, where it's very good as well, I'm not too sure how much of it may have been shot on location, but even if they didn't shoot on location, if they had to do it on sound stages, it was very good. The house is just this gigantic mystery house that has passages leading to nowhere, doors that can open up into drop-offs, and Sarah Winchester constantly kept building, like 24/7 building on it, and because of the fact that she had majority control over the company, she had so much money available that she can keep on doing it. Now, in the movie itself, I should point out that Winchester got a lot of negative reviews from it, even a few Razzie nominations for it. Though, to be honest, when I watched the movie, I did like it. Now, of course, that's just based on my own opinion, because I like the period piece as well. I like that they actually stuck to things that happened around this period of the turn of the century, for lack of a better word. They brought in the 1906 San Francisco earthquake. And the story was, in the movie at least, that a very angry spirit was stalking Sarah Winchester and her niece and her grandnephew, and a doctor played by Jason Clarke was brought in by the other board members to see if she was insane so they could take control over the company. And this was a man who also had his own personal demons. His wife committed suicide, and he was using laudanum, which is actually quite used a lot, especially in the West. It was the use of opium, which had no regulations or laws against it. I actually liked the movie quite a bit.
So take that, critics.
I'm sorry. I mean, you have to be honest. You're going to have what critics say, then compare it to what you actually like. Now, of course, if you watch this movie, you might not like it yourself. I mean, there was some good historic accuracies, inventions, like, well, the telephone was just coming out, but also if you're in a very large mansion-type concept, you open up one little tube and you can speak into it, and you'll go from a bedroom down to the kitchen or something like that. Yeah, I mean, of course, there's going to be some elements that people don't like. I liked it as well. I mean, Helen Mirren, I love Helen Mirren. She's a great actress. She did Sarah Winchester very well, and as well as Jason Clarke with his own inner demons as the doctor who went in to look at her and to decide whether or not she was mentally capable of handling it. If you have a chance, I mean, yes, I like that Chuck here said he did the virtual tour. How'd you feel about that, Chuck? Because I mean, I haven't
It was
done
neat. It was the virtual tour. It was not as crazy as I expected, to be honest. I'd heard about this house where there is always expanding and there's all these sorts of dead ends. Those are there, but there's kind of like when they talk about all these dead ends, it's like, oh, there's those two that were there. Like some of the stuff came together, but it was an hour-long tour. It was very interesting. Like there's a lot of history into that house.
Yeah, I mean, if you ever do a physical tour of Winchester House, I make it very clear: stick with your guide. You will get lost. And I can see Kevin's mind is working here. Yes, Rose Red is definitely based on the Winchester House.
Yeah. That's where I was going.
Absolutely.
The house that builds.
But
and Rose Red is also Stephen King's love letter to the Haunting of Hill House too. I mean, absolutely.
But I would also say, having done the virtual tour, if I had a chance out in San Jose to do the actual house, I would do it.
Of course.
It's a neat place. Like
Yeah, I would not though split up to look at different places. Okay.
Yeah.
I like to think of myself as a modern, forward-thinking person. That's something I don't mess with. Now, in terms of what I rate this movie, I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 hammers. It had some good jump scares. It definitely had the concept of these angry, vengeful ghosts out to crush the Winchester family. It had the whole sins of the father. It's like she didn't create the Winchester rifle, but it's there. Now you're going to get ripped for it. Story, I mean, I think it's a good movie. Okay? I'm not going to lie about it. I know that they really ripped on it for some reason. I don't know where they're getting it from. I think it was pretty good. I think it was story-driven, not so much character-driven. Yeah, there were some parts that were a little bit on the cheese end as well, but I think it worked pretty well. So that is McDonough's Hammer of Truth.